Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us for this first episode in this series with our featured guests. And we're going to be talking about career shift. A lot of people at this time, you're not too comfortable in your current career and you're wondering where next, what next. You have this grand idea in the back of your mind and you're wondering how to go about doing it. And so, as is customary on the Serenity Resource Connector, we're going to be bringing on our special guest, our featured guest for this episode, Clordene Lloyd Williams, digital marketer, to share with us how exactly she went about doing it, moving from a broadcaster, media manager into the digital marketing space. Hi, Claudine. Welcome to the Serenity Resource Connector.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Winsome. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. It's great to connect like this after so many moons. Or just to share that Claudine and I went to the same high school,
Yeah.
and I've always admired Claudine's voice, and she has used that to make a career in broadcasting, media management, which was not surprising to me. But Claudine, it's your story. How did you end up in broadcasting, media management? Why that first choice?
All right. So we went to Clarendon College together. And I think one of the fundamental things that I've learned growing up um, is that I had a voice. And no matter where I went, persons would say to me, okay, you want to do this recital, you want to do this part in a play, or do you want to do whatever. And so I've always used my voice. And when I was in high school, I started debating from I was in fourth form. So that was pretty early. I was young, but I had good teachers who were there to just guide me into the whole voice and speech um, part of my
Yeah.
development. And so I enjoyed it. And it was not just school, but there was also church. So you get a chance to use your voice also
Oh,
at
yeah.
church. So I couldn't run away from it. And I'm going to share a secret with you. When I was growing up, I used to take the newspaper and I would read it as if I were on radio. I would practice and I would practice, but my whole ambition was to become a lawyer. I didn't care what it was, I was going to be a lawyer. And so that was my aim straight on up to sixth form. And my story changed because when I got accepted to go to UA, I was told that my parents told me they didn't have the money. So what
Oh,
was I going to do? So I knew among everything else that I had within me something that was I could use. And later on, when I finally reached UA, that was when I discovered that boy, the rent has to be paid and food has to be bought. Yeah. So I started volunteering radio. And in 1999, actually, I started volunteering at a community radio station in Kingston. And that actually led to me just moving from one radio station to another radio station. And I realized this stuff was easy. You know, I
oh,
mean, I was using my voice, I was learning other skills like production skills, and it was easy. I mean, I was like, okay, God gave me this talent, and I'm going to use the talent I have to earn money. And up to this day, many, 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 many years after, I am still using my voice as an income generator for my business. And so you have to find something that is in you, that is ingrained in you, that you can develop and you can monetize. So that's what I did.
awesome. Amazing. And that's very important because we each have that unique gift within us. And sometimes it's mistaken too because I remember listening to, I don't remember what her name is. She's one of those LinkedIn persona. And she
Mhm.
was sharing that she thought all along that her gift was singing. until she could no longer sing. And then she realized it was actually her voice that was her gift. And that was a huge eye opener for me,
Mhm.
because sometimes we put ourselves in this box. And because you were going to law school because you're a talker, you can talk in so many different spaces, right?
Mhm. And I felt the confidence. I felt that. But then one of the things that you need to do is to gauge where you are. And
Yes.
this is one of the things that if someone is listening who has a talent, no matter what your talent is, whether it's baking, whether it is cooking, whether it's decorating, whatever your talent is, don't just throw it aside and say, I'm never going to use it, because out of that talent can come a career. And so it is for you to find what it is that you're comfortable doing and align yourself with that and then develop it into a business. And I feel that I wasn't thinking like that way back when. Desperate times called for desperate measures.
Measures.
And I was not going, I had to assess. I did the assessment, Winston.
Yes.
I'm not going to go to the library to hand out bags and collect tickets and that kind of stuff. And the wisdom that I had at that time said, no, try radio, because you always wanted to do that and you've been told you had a good voice. So I went way into pursuing that. And that for me was wisdom, because my radio career spanned many years, 18 years or more, I think.
Yes.
It spanned that much. So, and I'm grateful for that foundation, you know.
Indeed. Right. And you are still using your voice in your new found career, which is not just a career, but it was a launch pad into entrepreneurship.
Hmm.
Tell us about that transition. Why not go work for someone else, but branch out on your own? Because that's scary stuff.
It is. And I made my plan to transition from radio broadcasting because it became the same old. I mean, one of the things that, and persons are going to see that if you have fatigue in your career, meaning you are there, but you're like they say in the song, your body is here, but your mind is on the other side of town.
Indeed.
Yeah, that is the first sign that you are, in fact, not at peace where you are. And for me, that was the case. So I remember I took a long break because I'm a multitasker, and multitaskers have the tendency to get burnt out pretty easily. We have the people pleasing spirit, always
Mhm.
can do everything and
Oh,
will do
yes.
everything for everyone. And so in my career, I worked, and by the time I was 25 in that job, I was promoted to assistant station manager. And that was a huge, every year, every other year, I was getting. It was a small organization, but
Yes.
small, yeah. But I was getting the promotion. I was getting the promotion. I was ambitious, and I actually was unfulfilled because I left university, and I'm going to say this for the first time. I left university and I went into this job that was a great job, and I took leave of absence from university, and I didn't finish my degree. It took me 10 years to finish my first degree. Okay, 10
Oh,
years. I stayed in that job. I learned everything. I grew in that job. And one day I took leave of absence, not leave of absence. I took my vacation days, and I went back, and I knew in my heart that day I was going to go back, and I was going to um, resign. And I remembered when I went through the door, the general manager came up to me and say, "Okay, you are going to be the acting station manager now because we let this other station manager go." And I was like, "Wow, really?" And it took me 4 years to leave. After that, I spent 4 years managing the radio station,
yeah.
but I was never comfortable. I always knew that I had within me the entrepreneurial spirit, and I needed to everything that I was capable of doing.
Yeah.
I wanted to move into a new career. And so I was uncomfortable. I was stressed. I was always getting sick. I lost interest in my job. It became a huge burden on my shoulder, and I was no longer enjoying it. It was hard to go every day. I can tell you the truth. Sometimes I'm driving to work and tears are just rolling down my eyes. I knew I
Wow.
couldn't be there much longer. So I had to make the shift. And I remember the general manager at the time said to me, Clordene, it's really very bad out there. I'm telling you, you have a job, stay in that job. And I remember quoting to him this thing that I read in a book by Emily Cady that says, there comes a point in your life that every man must come face to face with his
Yeah.
God, and he must know that when he comes to cross his Red Sea, he can cross his Red Sea. So I said to him, listen, I come face to face with the reality. I cannot do this anymore. I'm actually very ill. And I became severely ill to the point that each time I went to the doctor would say, well, if I were you, I would just go right now and resign from the job. But the doctor was not aware that it's not just walk away from your job. You have bills to pay. A lot of people get up in their feelings and they never prepare for it. Was I prepared for it? I thought I was prepared for it, but that's another episode into
Yes.
into really shifting, making that mindset shift that I'm going to go do something on my own that I know I'm capable of without any funding, without a brick and mortar, and I'm going to have to hold myself accountable for those steps that I'm going to make.
That's right, because that's what entrepreneurship is.
Yeah.
Right. It's not just about the money that you're able to make, but there are some real sacrifices that you have to make. And you made a really valid point there about the mindset shift,
Mm-hmm.
because it's no longer Claudine working for or
Mm-hmm.
managing somewhere where you're getting that income at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You're not the final voice when it comes on to what ought to be done, but that mindset shift into knowing that you are ultimately responsible for whatever happens in that organization, how it is structured, how you treat with your clients,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. But you went into digital marketing. We're hearing so much about that now, but that was when you made the shift. Was it digital marketing
It
at
was
the time?
no. In 2017, I knew I wanted to become a strategic communication consultant
Okay.
because at the time I knew the media landscape. I had a network in media, so there were people who were in television, print,
Right.
people who different advertising agencies and that kind of thing. So I had a network, and I thought I was going to be a consultant, and it worked for a little while. But then there was this other part that when you leave the comfort of your 9 to 5 and you shift. And this is why this part of my job as a digital marketer is important: branding.
Uh,
So I had to make the shift from Clordene Lloyd, the radio broadcaster, to now an independent, um, a freelancer, say, consultant who
yes.
wanted to go into the field, and persons, I could not separate the two because they were so intertwined. Chlordine was radio broadcasting, and that was the brand that I had for many years. And
Right.
not to mention the emotional withdrawal from the work. You love the job, you're in the job, you love it, you've done it so many years. And then there was that emotional struggle. Did I lose something? Did I make the right decision? Am I able to stand on my own and do this? A lot of times when persons are going into this field, they, not the field of digital marketing, but just making the switch to becoming an entrepreneur, you really have those coming face to face with you and your God kind of moment, because the bills are due,
Yeah.
and you have to know what you're doing. Clients come, clients go. Clients get dissatisfied, clients are unreasonable, clients love to pay you, but they love to work you hard as well. So how do you navigate between that, and how do you control your time? So I started out as a strategic communication consultant, and I got a couple clients and I was doing well, but they were just short-term projects. And I knew I
Right.
needed something else. I knew I needed a broader scope on which that I could build my career. And so, one of my strongest influence was I knew about social media management, and I was doing that for a while. And I realized there is so much more in this field that I could do. And there's so many free courses that you could take to really bolster yourself, as a certified professional in this area. And so
Right.
I started studying and applying myself. I started going through the whole phase of, I do design, I do video editing, I do audio editing, voiceover commercials, I do websites, I host websites, I design the whole spectrum, because as I say, I'm a multitasker.
Yeah.
So I went into that whole scheme of things and having clients until officially I say, you know what, I think I'm ready. This is where life has led me to, and I'm ready. Let me tell you, for the first time in a long time, I wake up every day anxious to start working, because I think I found that alignment, that
Yes.
purpose, that place. And for me, that was where I say, I'm home. I am home in this space, lights local, and this is where I'm supposed to be.
Wow. And that's really amazing because you wake up and your office is at home, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you are ready. I can relate. Just
Do you
ready.
do you realize too that it was even during the time when I became I did my certifications, and I was still having clients before I finished my certifications, and then I realized that, whoa, guess what? Pandemic, COVID, everyone is working from home. And
Yes.
so I relocated to the Cayman Islands and with my husband, and we got into setting up. We had this vision and this vision for this business as well,
Yes.
and we set up. We have a two-bedroom house, and one of the bedroom is the office that is just totally converted into a workspace, a studio, that kind of thing,
Yes.
and. It's an amazing experience to be able to be in the same space and enjoy that same space and work. And I still have 99% of my clients are in Jamaica. So if you are thinking that you need to find a place to go and open an office and pay rent and have high overheads, don't think about that. Think about who you want to target and what you're passionate about. And the
Right.
World Wide Web is there. So find yourself somebody who's good on the platforms, and let them help you to establish your online presence.
Amazing. Amazing. And you recently registered Likes Local in the United States.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
That's a
you.
big move. Really,
Well,
really.
it was a long way coming. Can you imagine? I have my clients in Jamaica, I'm in Cayman Islands, and I need to have some way to receive payment. And
Yes.
so we went on this journey after we looked at the business and said, You know what, it has a lot of potential. We've been at
Yes.
this for a while. So why not register the business and let us get it up and running? So we are happy to know that the business is legit, registered as LLC, limited liability company, in the US, and we can accept payments online. It's convenient for our clients to pay us, and we it's for me, it's one of the huge step for this the last quarter, and it's
Indeed.
something to celebrate. Yeah.
Indeed. I'm celebrating with you. Sorry, I don't have my glass of champagne. But and we cannot close this first episode without me sharing that the Serenity logo was designed by Claudine.
Yeah. It was
Right.
my pleasure. It was my pleasure.
Yes. And I can't tell you how long I've gotten two designs before, but there's just something that was not connecting. It just wasn't it. And it just took a couple of conversations. And when I got this, I was like, yes. And we
Yeah.
discussed in terms of, all right, Claudine, all right, what was your thoughts behind this? And when she explained it, I did my research and I was like, wow, that's it.
Yeah. And
That's
that's my process. And I think a lot of, but you're going to know I'm a Christian entrepreneur. And a lot of persons, I mean, I could be scrolling through social media and I see someone, and God says to me, just, just reach to that person and do something for them. And I have done that quite frequently. And it is, for me, I think I see myself as some sort of a midwife, where you're pregnant with an idea, but you need to give birth to it, and you need that
yes,
midwife to kind of usher that baby into the world. And that is my process. That's my personal feeling, as to how I really go through doing my job every day, is to bless other people with their gifts. Just let them see that it can become a reality.
indeed. All right. So that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes on to likes local, and you want to stay tuned for the other episode when we will go deeper into likes local. Who are the people that likes local serve, and how you can be a beneficiary of the blessing that Clordene has been blessed with? Because when I actually got this logo, I mean, things took on a different tone. I tell you that the color scheme and all of that, even the branding that's across my platform, that's all thanks to Clordene. Clordene, thank you ever so much for being a part of the Serenity journey. Really appreciate it. And I'm looking for great things as we continue on this journey. You sharing your story, inspiring others. And I trust that others will be able to reach out and get that dream moving,
Yes.
right? Because sometimes we do need a midwife because the ideas are there and you have them there,
Mhm.
but it makes a big difference when you have someone who is able to guide you along the way. And I've had a number of persons for different aspects of the journey that has helped me to do that. And thank you again. Thanks to Doran. The website is there as well,
Yeah.
like local. So looking forward to learning more from you, Claudine, as we continue to inspire. Because that's what we do on the Serenity Resource Connector, connecting you with resources and inspiring you to step out and just use what you have been gifted with to be a blessing to those that you've been called to serve. All right. Thanks again, Claudine. And thank you all
Thank
for
you so
tuning
much,
in.
Winsome. I really enjoyed the chat.
Awesome. Same here. Looking forward to the next time when we meet in this space. All right. So stay tuned for the other episode as we continue the dialogue with Claudine as she shared more about her journey, who she serves, how she can serve you. All right. Just continue to stay safe and God bless.